Welcome you to what I would call the mixed platter session for this afternoon. It's the industry track session with focus on solutions available on the market. We are probably going to hear a couple of different approaches from different angles, all centered around emergency services and public safety, with industry experts from different companies and different countries with us this afternoon. My name is Markus Bornheim. I'm with Avaya. I'm the host of this session, and I would like to hand over to the hardest part for me right now, Malgorzata Pawlowicz.
Perfect.
From Huawei in Warsaw, giving us an overview on integrated communication platform-enabled command and control. I believe that is probably a full end-to-end review of what can be done in today's technology and in this industry. After Malgorzata, we're going to have Vincent Geffray, from Techwan, and finally, to close the round, it's under Sandell from CSAM. So, Malgorzata, go ahead, good luck, stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Integrated communication platform. So this is the Huawei solution, a so-called ICP platform that enables visualization. My name is Malgorzata Pawlowicz, as it was mentioned already. I'm government industry expert in Huawei. Before I joined Huawei, I've been working in a public safety sector, and I had a pleasure to take part in the implementation of the national command and control solution dedicated for Polish police. So now I'm honored I can talk to you from Huawei perspective and present you the new generation solution. Referring to command and control challenges and trends, I will elaborate on our ICP platform features and present you how visualization can improve command and control capabilities. Finally, I will tell you why it's worth working with Huawei and why it is worth using our product. So, all we know that public safety meets a lot of challenges. There are internal, internal and external, and for that reason, command and control solutions became priorities for governments. The efficiency of the command and control solution depends on its organization, its rostering model, call taker and dispatcher capabilities, the personal traits, but also it depends on technology that supports operational activities, like you can see the locating, planning, connectivity, collaboration, etc. All that to collect numerous information to share them, analyze, and all that in a timely manner. This is important. How can we measure the command and control efficiency? The best approach is based on timing. We defined 3 parameters: time of call taking, resources arrival time, time of incident handling. The third one is very rarely used, as it depends on the incident. It can be different for us, or it can be different for car crash. But the most commonly used and defined by governments is the resources arrival time. Sometimes it's going to be measured from the moment the incident was reported. So the resources arrival time can be defined for urban, rural areas. It can be defined, it can be different for different services, for the police, fire brigade, or medical services. Anyway, if we manage to influence the parameters, we can influence the command and control efficiency. And in that way, we can influence and strengthen citizen safety, right? Actually, for years, we've been improving these parameters. We moved from dial buttons to huge monitors, remote workstations, consoles. In 2000, we had trunking, we integrated call taking and dispatching. After 10 years, we have achieved much more. We integrated emergency numbers, we improved communication, we have multi-source information collection, and much more. All that to deal with information. Actually, now we are entering the 3rd generation of command and control solution based on AI, cloud, and big data. And all that to improve prediction, warning, and management. But today we focus on visualization that was enabled by our solution. And here is the integrated communication platform, Huawei ICP platform. That solution supports a whole incident management process. So call taking, dispatching, and on-site management, plus pre-event and post-event activities. Our platform, our single platform, ensures collection of different information from different devices. We can integrate different communication solutions. We can provide video streaming, and video communication convergence can be also provided. Our single platform consists of hardware and software. With SDK and API, we can integrate different numerous third-party applications. So you all know CAT, AVL, GIS, call-taking applications, and others. Yeah, all they can be integrated with our platform to improve the activities of call taker and dispatcher. And one more thing, our simple solution consists of 3 modules: call taking, dispatching, and video conferencing. The modules can be implemented step by step, so we can start from call taking, or it can be implemented as the complex solution. So the call taking module provides fully operational call taking. We can integrate all emergency numbers. The call taker can his activities are supported by real-time information, voice data, but also video information. So he can get a phone call, SMS, use equal solution, information from email, video information provided by application, social media, or use the sensing information. Call automatic registration and routing is also provided. With third-party applications, the consistent information the call taker use can be exchanged with the dispatcher if we have dispatching module. Standard operation procedures, this is also visible and ensures that the call taker can deal with the cases already known, repeatable cases. For natural reasons, the operational procedures should be sustainably improved. Call taking capabilities can improve resources usage. Calls are uniformly allocated by call takers. The email information, the call taking history tracking, all that can help to assign the best caller and deal with a particular case. In general, the calls are forwarded on a round-robin basis, or it can be based on particular skills of the call taker. So the dedicated line can be provided for major incidents or high-risk persons that have been previously registered. Queuing and automatic location, call automatic allocation is also provided, and it's useful when the call is released or call taker is unavailable. Moreover, missed call reminder helps to ensure that we can deal with any case, and in that way we can improve the performance rate. The second module, the dispatching one, that one can be integrated with call taking, depends on the customer. The dispatcher can use with real-time information, similarly to call taker, voice data and video information as well. So the single platform, our solution ensures to integrate different communication solutions. Doesn't matter if you use Tetra, the MR solution, or analog systems at the moment. All that can be integrated, and all the information is valuable from the point of view of the dispatcher. On-site management is much easier with third-party applications. So the planning, dispatching, and commanding, all that can be supported. As mentioned before, the consistent information can be exchanged between the call taker and dispatcher. They base on the coherent data. One more thing, the different services, the different emergency services like fire, medical services, or police, they can use CAD software. All that CAD software can be integrated with our platform. The CAD can interwork based on standards and to incident updates. The third module, converged video module, that one supports visualization, and it's very valuable for the decision-making process. So if the support of experts, consultancy, or supervisor's decision is needed when dealing with a case, the conferencing can be launched on demand. It can be launched with the use of different devices, the video conference desktop, mobile application, dispatcher ICP console, or the Idea Hub. You could see at our stand the Huawei solution it's dedicated for conferencing, the intelligent solution. Dispatcher can cooperate with resources on site. They can use different devices depending on the communication solutions they use, and it's supported by visualization features. So they can use terminals, vehicle or portable terminals. They can use smartphones. They can use body worn cameras, and in that way exchange also video information that helps the dispatcher to make the better decision. With third-party application, all the information can be visualized, and the processes can be run in a more effective way, like dispatching, commanding, or controlling. If you would like to sum up and answer how visualization can improve the work of the call taker and dispatcher, the call taker definitely can act with more, can handle more cases in noisy environment, for example, when the reporters are unable to talk or they have disabilities. Also the information, the visualized information about the incident reporter, his location that is visualized, or environmental conditions he can get thanks to visualization, can improve his decision and make it possibly better. So from the point of view of the dispatcher, he can build situation awareness. Video helps him to, and visualized information can help him to select and assign the best resources. The information, the visual information about decision to dispatch, the route he can observe, the arrival notification, all that can be visualized and help dispatcher to deal with the information. Communication between dispatcher and resources, as mentioned before, can be provided with the use of different devices. The consistent information, visualized information, can be shared between the call taker and dispatcher. The conferencing, if the external help is needed, can be launched on demand. Operational procedures, scripts, contingency planning, it's also visualized information and supports the incident management process to dealing with that process. And in the end, the video information, similarly to the voice and data information, can be recorded and used for the investigation in the future if it's needed. Why, in fact, the visualization is so important? Because most of us, possibly 65%, as the statistics say, 65% of us are visual learners. So most of us can learn and communicate better with visual communication. Visualization helps us to react. So possibly it's helpful also for call taker and dispatcher. So that's why it's very useful to give them the tool, such a tool, to let them react faster and more effectively. Here's the very simplified approach. We have comparison of two solutions, the traditional one and the generational solution. It's based on our experiences, but the numbers say that the resources arrival time, when you start measuring it from the moment the call was, the incident was reported, the average resources arrival time can be lowered when we used the solutions, new technology solutions supported by cutting edge technologies, and when we are able to provide visualization, when we can enable visualization. So why it's worth using our product? Our product is easy deployable. This is the single platform. We can collect information from many sources. We can provide multi-channel alarming. We can integrate different communication solutions. We can have conferencing on demand. We can integrate the platform with numerous applications. And in that way, build a solution that meets the sometimes very demanding expectations of our customers. Finally, we can provide the professional support in modular or complex solution implementation. And based on our experiences, we have reached in more than 90 countries in the public safety sector. We can help, we are ready to help and offer the support in implementation of the complex command and control solution that we can build in an ecosystem together with our partners. So we are ready to answer your questions. We can dive into technicalities if it's needed. We invite you to our stand. Some of you I know already visited us. So we'll be happy to share information, share our experiences, and help you to deliver the best command and control solution. This is all from me now. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon.
Do I see any hands for questions to Malgorzata?
Everything was clear.
Not immediately. Meeting is recorded, and as she said, the stand is available and open.
Stand number 16.
Thank you very much. The next speaker I'm going to ask to stage is Vincent Geffray of Techwan from the United States with a French accent.
Yes.
But probably you better tell that story, Vincent, and I'll hand over to you right now.
At least I'm going to try, so thank you. So yeah, I brought everything, the US, the French accent, and so hopefully you're not going to be confused. Just making sure that you can see me on both sides of this pole. Okay, all right. So this presentation, this session is going to be about our command and control, emergency management, incident management, crisis management platform, but not only. We're going to talk about SAGA, which is the name of the platform delivered by the company Techwan. And as you can see, there's no logo for Techwan on this slide. So let me start by addressing this, and then we'll dive into the capabilities of the solutions that we provide our customers, and I'll show you how real-life examples, real-life use cases on how our customers are leveraging the technology that we provide. My name is Vincent Geffray. I am on the product innovation team at Techwan, a Everbridge company. So let's get to the first slide, which, for those of you who are familiar with Techwan, any customer, any user, anyone familiar with the name Techwan? Company has been around, okay, yeah. Company has been around for more than 20 years. The product is SAGA, so any SAGA users? At least one over there. So Techwan is now a Everbridge company. We wanted to announce it last year at the EENA conference, but as you know, there was no conference. So since last year, Techwan has joined Everbridge, and throughout my presentation, you are going to understand why. Why that was a no-brainer for Techwan and Everbridge to partner and work together. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to talk about emergency management, but not only. In the previous presentation, but also this morning, there were some very interesting presentation about AI. I don't know if you... AI, about big data, about all the progress that have been made in analyzing huge amount of data to become more predictable. Because emergency management is the thing that we all care about, but it doesn't have to be always responding to an incident, always responding to someone calling into an emergency number, right? With the technology we have today, we can predict a lot of things that are going to happen, right? Simple example, what's happening right now in Spain, on the island of De Palma, right? The volcanic eruption. If I'm correct, there were no casualties. Why? Because we had time to prepare and to communicate and to get everything in order. We knew it would happen, we were ready, and it's still happening. So my point here is, today, we have a lot of information available to us to make sense of what may happen, of the risk that a country, a city, a specific region is facing. So the first thing that, when you look at the overall public safety, call it life cycle, call it segment, call it topic, the first thing that is important is to know what risks a given organization, a given country, region is facing. If you live in Portugal, in the south of Portugal, the likelihood for you to be hit by a snowstorm might not be as high as being hit by wildfires or forest fires during summer. You know, so each country, each region has its own risk. Now, there are risk intel products today, solutions that provide information, and this information should help organizations get better at predicting, right? Monitoring. Look at, there are many use cases. Smart cities, cities in the south of France, for instance, Nice, where they've deployed a network of CCTV cameras. So they are aware of what may happen. And the reason they did this is because they were hit by a terrorist attack a few years ago. So monitoring capabilities, so you know, or at least you're ready for anything that can happen, right? That's something that Everbridge provides, right? PSIM solutions, physical security information management. Natural disasters, weather information. Every country today has a pretty good way of predicting most of their natural disasters. Of course, a tornado cannot yet be predictable, but a hurricane, we know in advance when a hurricane is going to land, when a cyclone is going to land, and so on and so forth. So these are information that we need to take into account when designing our public safety solutions. Another source of information are your PSAPs, your emergency call centers. Monitoring the number of calls, monitoring the activity of the PSAP will give us information about what may happen or what is happening. Because if something critical enough happens, there's going to be a spike in the number of 911 call, 112, and so on and so forth. So very interesting to get information upfront to make sense of what is happening or what may happen. That's being prepared before a critical incident. When something is critical enough, then comes the emergency management workflow, right? So that's where, and previous presentation talked about this as well. Now we are in situation of an incident. Now we have to respond. Now we have to execute the right SOP, EOP, depending on the nature of the incident, right? It also comes with being efficient at responding, right? It's one thing to be prepared. It's one thing to have a set of tasks and actions that have to be executed. It's another to know exactly what resources are available. Where are they? How easily can I mobilize those resources? So our solution, our platform, comes with intelligent resource management, which, for example, on a medical emergency situation, will provide the operator with the best healthcare resources available for a specific incident, depending on the priority of the incident, depending on the location, the time, the traffic on the road, and so on and so forth. Again, the technology exists today. What we do is we leverage technologies like Waze. We all use Waze, right? Why not apply the same technology to emergency management? We all use Facebook, right? So at any point in time, I can know if I want what my friends are doing on the other side of the planet. Why not use this technology? I'm not talking about Facebook, but current technology to share information. Many organizations are moving from a siloed organization to a more collective, where they share intelligence. So collective intelligence is becoming something that we see. So we are responding, right? Providing situational awareness capabilities, which was described in the previous presentation. So basically, visualization of what's happening. Who's using Uber or Bolt here to get a taxi? Right, we all use this technology today. When I order a Uber, I can see the little car coming to the pickup location, right? Same technology exists. We've put it into situational awareness. So we know we can track how the ambulance is getting to the scene, the location of the scene. So dealing with the incidents, we offer multi-agency incident coordination, which means we can deal at the same time with the fire department, law enforcement, and medical emergency resources. So we can bring the whole together, part of the same platform, same visualization, and same reporting capabilities. And I could stop here. Great, they do command and control, they do incident management, crisis management, resource management, situational awareness. Now I'm going to share with you a few examples. The first one is, like we said, I'm French, so I lived in Paris before moving to the US. I lived in Paris for a couple of years. What happens in Paris very often is, as they are rehabilitating some district, they knock down buildings, old buildings, they dig to build new ones. Very, very often, and it's not only Paris, they find weapons from World War II. They are still there, and the first thing they need to do is neutralize the bomb or the weapon. And what's needed to do that? You have to define a perimeter around the site, usually a couple of kilometers or miles, and tell the population, for a couple of hours, you're going to have to leave, evacuate the area. So as you can see, today, most of the emergency management platforms have the capability to dispatch, to organize the intervention, but communicating with the population where something is happening is something that not all platforms can do. So there is a clear need for being able to communicate with the people that are being impacted. And those people can be the residents, just like in my example, but can be tourists, can be visitors of this area. So critical communication is also a very important aspect of end-to-end public safety. Let me give you another example. Do you remember what happened in Rouen? Rouen is a city northeast of France, 2019, explosion of this chemical plant, right? Started as we have an issue, explosion, let's dispatch the fire trucks, police. Okay, people got there, realized that it was more than just a fire. It was an explosion, and there was a toxic gas emanation. What did they have to do, wanted to do? Actually, that was not an easy thing to do. Tell the people to stay inside, close all the windows and stay inside within 10 kilometers outside of the plant. Same thing, clear use case for ability to communicate with the people. Now, guess what? The cloud, the smoke cloud, didn't stay above the plant. It moved. So what they had to do, or wanted to do, is as the cloud was traveling, tell the population underneath to take specific actions. Again, communication is part of public safety, end-to-end public safety management. And my last example is going to be what happened June 2017. That's the terrorist attack on London Bridge. Remember? This guy on the van drove into pedestrian on the London Bridge. Same thing, started as a, oh, we have an accident, maybe it's a heart attack, the driver lost control. But it turned out, a few hours later, that it was not an accident, it was a terrorist attack. We didn't know at the time. So same thing, we dispatched the police crews on site, and guess what happened? Guess what was the biggest problem for law enforcement? They didn't even know it was a terrorist attack. The thing is, people thought it was an accident, and you had hundreds of people coming to the scene just to see what was happening, because we have the human being as a behavior to, they're curious, right? They want to see what's happening. So police enforcement was trying to find a way to tell people, do not stay, do not come around the scene. So again, how can you do that? How can you easily communicate with the people who are in a specific area around a scene of an incident, right? So as you can see, the three very important pillars of end-to-end public safety are risk intel and all the intel you can get to be ready, to be prepared, to know what is happening or what may happen. When something happens, of course, we all know this very well. Get ready for intervention, right? Command and control, SOPs, EOPs, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, in many, many cases, we need to communicate with the people that have nothing to do with what just happened, but they are impacted just because they are in this specific area, right? It's called population alerting. So now you understand, maybe, hopefully you're going to understand why SAGA, which is the Techwan platform, which is centered on my slide, it made sense for us to work together with Everbridge, which is providing a lot on the visibility and awareness side of the equation, and Everbridge on the population alerting and critical communication aspects. So what we're doing is basically putting all the pieces together so that we can provide some organization, maybe not all, a full end-to-end public safety solution. All right, so let's get back now to SAGA and Techwan, because this is the core of this presentation. So let me tell you about how it is being used, who's using it, and what are the use cases. So we work with, at the national level, with national security services, Ministry of Interior, Army, Police, National Police. We work with, like I said, emergency department, fire, law enforcement. We also work with municipalities, and that's going to be, and I'm going to cover this in a specific example, because it's not always when something happens that you need a platform like this. And we work with public and private security services in universities, airports, for physical security. How we help, like I said, depending on who the customer is or the organization, at a national level, it's going to be, we're going to help with major crisis management. As we get down the list, it's going to be more operational, so we're going to help with managing operations and incidents, prioritization, optimization, and so on and so forth. And for municipalities, we also help with the platform is built for emergency management, but is basically built for anything that requires actions of different stakeholders. So we also help with big events. Think about a World Cup. Think about a big concert in your cities. Think about those things that are happening where a lot of people are joining in the same area. Okay, so having said that, let's get now very tactical and operational. Let's cover a few use cases of our existing customers, right? This is 144. That's the national emergency number in Switzerland for medical emergencies. It's equivalent to the 15 in France. So they use us for, and by the way, the screens you see on this picture are screens from SAGA. They use us for emergency call handling, for, like we said before, dispatching, so it comes with a CAD. Multi-agency collaboration and engagement is really the key differentiator here. We can handle different organizations at the same time, not only emergency, medical emergencies, but also fire and law enforcement at the same time. And as you can see on the screen, we provide visual situational awareness. That's where you can see the little ambulance going to the scene, just like your Uber when you order one. Benefits are, I'm not going to even go into the list of benefits because it's a no-brainer. Another use case is, how is SAGA used by cities for municipality operations? Like I said before, sometimes you know things are going to happen, just get ready. And SAGA helps you get ready by providing scheduling, prioritization, and special event planning. So basically, I'm going to give you a very simple example. I'm going to say, in every single European country right now, we have demonstration of people who don't really like the vaccination program, right? And in some cities, in some countries, it can become a big problem with degradation of public assets and so on and so forth. So, but the cities, they know. Like, there's a country in Europe very well known for the yellow vest demonstration every Saturday. And sometimes it can get very tough. And so they know that they'll have to provide cleanup services, they have to provide municipality to dispatch teams after the fact. So this is how we help with tracking activity report, optimizing the team's activity. And last but not least, I'm going to finish with the command and control center at the national level. So we've talked about emergency management, we've talked about at the municipality level. Now let's get to national command center. And so, which are used for receiving, managing intervention requests. We do call qualification, call information taking, resource allocation, dispatch. We also manage communication from the field back to the command central, and real-time operational monitoring of the activities. Our biggest reference is the French Gendarmerie Nationale, which is the national police. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the largest command and control room in the world with 20 million calls per year, 13 million incidents per year, and you see the data here. The reason why it's large is because France has a lot of overseas territories and covers a lot of people and territories. And again, the largest command and control reference. About Everbridge and Techwan now, we are one of the European leaders in public safety as well as public warning. It's going to be fine. And everything is developed, supported in Europe. And I'm just going to finish up with this slide to show you how we are helping European countries today with public warning, but also with public safety. And with this, I am done.
Spot on. I would allow one question, if there is one question.
Right on time.
Otherwise, thank you very much, Vincent. And last speaker on this session, Anders Sandell from CSAM, former Carmenta. And the rest of the story is yours, Anders.
Thank you very much, Markus. Can you all hear me? So I'm just waiting for my slides to show up here. So I know I'm between you and the break, so don't fall asleep, and I will try to keep it within the allotted time. Here are my slides. Great. So, yes, my name is Anders Sandell. I'm CTO at CSAM Public Safety. And we are, previously we were Carmenta. So basically, Carmenta Public Safety became CSAM Public Safety, so you all know. We have the same business mission, and we continue as before, but we now have an even greater capability in the company that acquired us, the CSAM group. So this is my speech has the title Public Safety Goes Autonomous, and this might seem a little bit provocative, and actually it is, and I'll get back to that. But wouldn't it be nice if everything in this area was totally self-sufficient and everything was automatic? The title of the previous speech was actually also "Every Second Counts." That's our motto in CSAM Carmenta Public Safety, and we are doing everything we can to reduce that. That's our daily focus. So CSAM is an e-health provider of products and solutions based in Norway, at least the headquarters in Norway. So we're a Norwegian company. We have 7 different product areas we're active in. I'm from the public safety area, and we are based primarily in Sweden. We have our main office in Gothenburg on the west coast, but we also have offices in other parts of the world, like in Spain, the Philippines, and now through an acquisition also in Auckland, New Zealand, and also in the US and the UK. So we're about 100 people in the public safety area, and we are providing a complete solution for 112, for emergency responders, for ambulance, for fire and rescue, and also police organizations. So we're a multinational company. We have traditionally a strong foothold in Europe, especially in the northern part, but through the acquisition of the Optima part of R1, we also now have customers as far away as New Zealand, Australia, and also in the US. So now if we look at our products, we have a complete system solution, which I believe Huawei and Techwan also has in some aspects. We are covering the entire chain, so it even starts before somebody's calling 112 or calling for a medical support service. It actually starts in the planning phase. So we have now product from the planning of the resources to the operations, all the way to the finalization of the actions and also follow-up. So if we look at the portfolio, which I will talk a little bit about briefly, that is based on our CordCom product. That is the heart of the system. It provides case and incident management, dispatch, as well as communication. To complement that, we have a GIS product called Rescue Map. We have a web interface. We have also mobile applications, both for the responders, the first responders, but also for medical support. And also now, through the recent acquisition of the Optima business, we have resource optimizations tools, both for planning, the Optima Predict, which is a tool where you can plan all your resources from now till in many years in the future, but also the Optima Live, which is pretty much it's not the dispatch per se, but what happens when this resource becomes available. Then look into the future, the look far ahead. What is the most optimum distribution and redistribution or dispatching of the resources? And those products together becomes a very, very strong portfolio. So now I'm going to move into the vision, and this is not just for our company, but maybe more for the industry at large. So we see that there are a number of trends in this area, and if we look at them from top to bottom here, the seamless trend. We're seeing that the emergency response and the hospital care are actually moving closer and closer together. Sharing the same case information and making it possible to initiate earlier actions and improving the accuracy of the actions and the response all the way to the hospital care. We also see that it's more transparent in that a lot of the speakers actually today talked about not just voice, they talked about all the social media, the chat, the emails and so forth, and that's something that will enhance and improve this business, making it more accurate and faster to respond. We talk about connected. There will be more and more alternatives to connect. We have the introduction of 5G and everything, and I will get back to that. But this will improve the availability and reduce the time to respond. Autonomous, that's actually the title of the speech per se. We will leverage the fact that we now have access to much more data. We have the resources to process the data and also to leverage the artificial intelligence or machine learning area that we just heard in the morning a lot about. There's a lot of development there, and this makes it possible to reduce the manual intervention, actually to make a lot of the steps in the emergency response chain automatic or even autonomously or autonomous. And last but not least, the agnostic trend. We heard also from several other speakers that why they could move so quickly when the pandemic hit us last year was because they were cloud-based. And that's great and all. I think that the thing that hasn't been really mentioned is that there's a lot of technology evolution in that area that we now can leverage. So all the web technology evolution and everything, all the ecosystems and everything that's happening in that area, we can also leverage in our industry. So a little bit about the details, the seamlessness. When the emergency response systems are connecting with the hospital care, we can actually make sure that the medical decisions taken are more accurate. And it's very important because there are a lot of people and systems involved in the whole chain. And everything is based on that the information is handed over from step to step, and everybody's sharing the same operational picture. So the seamlessness is really in the way we share information. The more we can share, the better shared picture we have, the better we can treat or handle this situation. If we look at the transparency, traditionally this has been a voice-based business. I mean, you called 112 or 90,000 in Sweden, and then it was, you know, somebody picking up the call, and we call it call centers and everything. But now we will move into the area, and we already have moved into the area of multimedia, where we can see chat, we can see even social media, emails, and so forth. And that will greatly enhance the ability for us to respond. Secondly, we are also leverage all the media communication part where we can see a fusion of all the different aspects leading to better services that more cater toward emergency response and not just you know, the general public at large. So if you look at the connected, I'm from telecom, basically from start. And in telecom area, there has been a lot of development that we can now leverage. And if I say 5G, a lot of people say, oh, that's a new mobile telephony standard. To me, it's really old, because I started to work on 5G 5-6 years ago. But that will actually be launched now commercially, and that will enhance the capabilities for the users to connect with the emergency response organizations, and we will improve the availability, and we will improve the capacity and the coverage and also redundancy, because if one system goes down, you can probably connect through another system. So there would be a number of layers of radio systems, for example, out there. Also, if you look at the blue light industry, we all hear about the PSLTE that has been standardized by, or actually been standardized by ETSI, but it's very much pushed by EENA, which is excellent, and that we should really leverage from. The fact that it's called PSLT brings a little bit confusion in my mind, because LTE stands for that's long-term evolution, and it's actually equal to 4G. Now we see that 4G is really, really old, so 5G is the new kid on the block. So if you look at the telecom industry, they're referring to this as the mission-critical 4G, 5G. So I haven't heard really any telecom guys say anything about the PSLT any longer. So, but this is really, really great. And also we heard about the NG112 new services that will be launched, and they will be harmonized. So we can really make sure that there will be communication and collaboration cross borders. Autonomous, that's the core of this presentation. So why do we call it autonomous? And why is that something good? Why is that positive? Well, the reason is that we are relying on people, highly skilled people, to take the calls and make the decisions. But we have heard through a lot of the presentations over those 2 days that they can be overloaded. They were extremely overloaded at the start of the pandemic. So it's obvious that if we can make certain tasks and steps automatic or even autonomous, the people can actually do all this manual work that has to be done, can focus on the most difficult tasks and cases. So what makes this possible to look at this from an aspect to introduce automatic functions and even autonomous functions here? That is because of 3 things. The first thing is the availability of data. The second thing is the possibility to transfer that high amount of data over the air. Thanks to the telecom industry for that. And the third one is actually artificial intelligence. And thanks to a lot of the research and development in that area and the processing industry that gives us new processes that can handle all of those complex algorithms, we can now put together this and make sure that we can leverage that in automatic functionality. So let me give you a few examples here. Cars, connected cars, or connected vehicles. There are hundreds and maybe thousands of sensors in cars. So that could be transmitted, and actually already it is transmitted to in case of an emergency, in case of an accident. The cars are sending data, they're setting up calls, but all the sensor data could actually be used to trigger automatic actions in the systems, so that the human beings handling the calls, the responders, the call takers can focus on, okay, what is very difficult and what is not unique in this case. So that's one example. That's actually already happening out there. Another example, which is very, very interesting now, and in our booth, number 33, by the way, we have a drone on a stand. And drones can be used for a multitude of different features and functionality. So, for example, streaming video. So if you leverage the capabilities of the drones to stream real-time video, you add real-time audio, it's very possible to put that together, analyze that, feed it through AI models or algorithms, and based on the result, trigger automatic actions. And we also heard about the AI opportunities in the morning session here. Thirdly, actually, it's something that probably everybody or majority of the people in this room, you have a smartwatch or a fitness activity tracker like a Fitbit or something, and that device is collecting data about you all the time, 24/7. And given now that, okay, we're in GDPR era now, so we have to of course, be very wary of the fact that it's personal data. But if the people are given their consent, this data could actually improve the handling. Once something is happening, the data from the Fitbit devices or smartwatches could be used to trigger activities, prepare the medical staff, the ambulance staff, for example, for what to do when something happens. So those are just a few examples. If you look at the agnostic part, We have heard a lot about the different deployments that happen with the home office, establishment of the home offices at the start of the pandemic. And this is I mean, I'm really amazed how well most of the operators could cope with that extremely large peak of incoming calls, at the same time moving the staff from on-site to remote call taking. I think everybody must have done a tremendous job, obviously, at this time. But I think that it's very important that we now embrace the fact that it's in the cloud area, it happens. It happens a lot. The more we can leverage from that, the better it is for us. And there is a lot of development going on there. So we have to be able to run on, of course, on-prem, but also in private clouds and maybe down the road in public cloud scenarios, and make this border disappear. Because we all leverage from all the technology out there, and that's what we want to do. Another thing that is very important in this is the interfaces, and the open and standardized interfaces. And as I mentioned, I'm from the telecom industry, and that is something that we could really copy from what they have done. They have been very successful in deploying the same standards with the same products and aligned systems and services all over the world. So you can basically use the same phone wherever you are in the world. Okay, like a typical phone like this has actually 17 radios and not one radio, but that's something for the hardware guys to sort out. From a software perspective, it's the same. So this is something that we can definitely leverage from, and that's why the introduction of PSLT, for example, is so important, so that we can make sure that we have an alignment of the services, and that will also make it possible for us to harmonize the way we work across the Europe, across the world. So that's what this is primarily targeting. So I'm a little bit ahead of time, but that's good, I think. So if we summarize what I've tried to convey to you, we will see a seamless integration of the emergency response and the healthcare organizations and workflows. There will be more communication capabilities in terms of media, chat, and also more access through introduction of 5G and other connectivity alternatives. The access to more data will drive automation also in our industry, and the transparent access to the more connectivity will make it possible to drive down the response times and improve the availability. And the agnostic part where we can leverage the ecosystem that can be established, because we're now opening up for more industries to also participate in this area and build new products, design new solutions, and so forth. And all of this to make it possible for the responders to focus on the most critical tasks and cases. Thank you. 1 minute and 32 seconds ahead of time.
Thank you, Anders.
Any questions? Pardon me? Yeah, okay. In our product portfolio, we already started. I don't want to talk about simple cases, but rather straightforward cases. We can today automatically dispatch. If there are certain parameters or criteria that are met, we can automatically dispatch an ambulance to an incident scene.
How far are we in that journey, or if you could go all the way, every dispatch?
The vision is yes, but in reality, again, I think if we can, I don't want to mention a number, but if we could reduce it with a percentage like 50%, 70%, I don't think it will ever be 100%. But the more we can make automatic, then we can offload the call takers and dispatchers, and they can focus again on the critical and difficult cases. More questions? Yes?
How do you see the workload in the control rooms and in the systems when the public safety first responders are moving from their current systems, be it Tetra, Tetrapol or something else, to the 4G, 5G services?
I see that primarily as an enabler because, I mean, already today we can bring in video, and I think you should actually go to our booth and take a look, because we can stream high definition video already today, but that's through the 4G system. But we can definitely do the same with the introduction of PSLT. So from a call taker perspective, we already have those capabilities, but I think to sharing it within the work team, working with, for example, at the scene, I think there it can definitely enhance, and they can take quicker decision at site. So I think the introduction of PSLT or mission critical 4G 5G, I think will primarily be beneficial for the people at site. But in the call control room, I mean, all those improvements will make it easier to focus again on the most difficult tasks and cases.
Thank you very much
for
these explanations, and other questions with Anders directly on their booth. I would like to give you some closing information. If you want to stay in this room, transition to the first part of the critical communication session here, or in track 1 session, implementing next generation 112 in the parallel plenary room, or in track 2 session, staff retention in PSUBs in the parallel room alpha. Thank you very much for being with us today, and have a good rest of the day and tomorrow. Thanks.